I wasn't maintaining enough margin and
So you were
was
over
just
leveraging.
cutting the money off and all that. So yeah. Well, later I went into what do you call it? It's a what do you call that? The one where
Right.
you hedge it. And yeah, when I hedge it, anytime I hedge it, the very time I hedge it, it goes the opposite way, and then I get my money locked up for months and even sometimes yeah. So when I take the hedge off and I it makes some small money on the one side, I take the money, then immediately goes the opposite and takes my money off. So that's so I've added 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, and overall it's over more than $50,000 since
Wow.
2008. I've not taken a dime out. Uh, Presently, if I should give you
Hmm.
the sister who introduced you to me, I gave her to trade for me
That's
early this year to
okay.
trade for me.
Florence.
She did a few, yes, and then Florence, she did a few trades, and then I said, okay, I'll take over. I'll take over. Then, but before I taking over, she has set up some trades, and normally I don't set up what do you call it, stop or things because I try as much as possible. Whether it's losing or something, I'll just keep it there. So it could be years and it's still there, and that has been. And she didn't set up any stops. So my capital that I had at that time, equity was 11,000 something I gave her, and the actual capital total account balance was about 30 something thousand, 32 or something thousand. And then she traded. We couldn't go up anywhere. We were just around the same figure. It even came down to 10,000 when I took over. And then when I took over, I think I made the same mistakes again. I could not go any further. Then just recently was the worst one. I had some silvers which I bought at I think 49 something when 2012 when silver started escalating up. So I bought and I still haven't had them. So they came down now to 16.
Right.
I think $15 or something. So last week I still have to add some money
Margin call.
in there just to maintain because I got a margin maintenance. Yeah, and I put some money in, and then it went further again, and I had to put some money in. And then went further down, but I didn't put any money in. And then Friday, I think it's went up a bit, and then I called them to remove warn him before the end of the day. That was Friday. So that is it. That's my basically. If you want to see my account screen, I can give you my
Which
password and all that, and
which
so
brokerage
just have
firm
a
did you
look at it
use?
and see where
Which brokerage
it's.
firm are you using?
Pardon me?
Oh, you're using FXCM. Okay. Okay.
FXCTM.
All right. Yeah, we can get into that
Yeah,
later on.
yeah.
So, so basically, you
Okay,
have
all right.
not had any formal training in terms of in
Uh-huh.
terms of the Forex market.
No, 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 not at all. It just the guy told me, so I trade basically on instinct. But it was something I was interested in because
Right.
I'm reaching the age of retirement soon. So it was something that I thought, okay, maybe that's what I'll do when if I could. And it's if I look at it, it's if you're able to trade well, you can live on it. So I thought that's what I'm going to do
Right.
when I leave the
All
regular
right.
profession.
Okay.
Yeah,
So pretty much, based from what I'm seeing or from what I'm hearing,
yeah,
you we have to start from the basics
yeah,
because you just like
yes,
myself. Let me give you a little background. Just like yourself, I pretty much a friend of mine
yeah,
introduced it to me in 2004, and we started. Well, I started demo trading,
uh-huh.
and miraculously, I've started making money. So yeah, with the demo account. So
Oh
I
wow.
figured pretty much,
Mhm.
hey, this is easy
Yeah.
because the
Okay.
market goes up, the market goes down. So
Uh-huh.
how hard can it be? I
Yeah.
mean, if I flip a
Yeah.
coin, I mean, it's
Yeah.
a 50 for, if the 50%
Yeah.
probability heads and tails. So I went in
Yeah.
and I traded okay for
Yeah.
for a few weeks, and then I said, all right, I'm going live.
Yeah.
So I same FXCM.
Uh-huh.
I opened a brokerage account with FXCM. I believe I started with $1,000
Yeah.
and traded decently
Yeah.
for the first few weeks. I mean, just like yourself, going in blindly, guessing which direction it's going to
Yeah.
head. And
Hmm.
as they would say, beginner's luck,
Yeah.
I was good. So I said, hey, this is
Yeah.
easy. Anyway,
Mm.
it so happened that on a
Yeah.
Friday, which I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it, but non-farm payroll comes up right. Just out of my bad
Yes,
luck,
I've just said it.
on that
Uh-huh.
morning, just before I head to work, I said, okay, I'm gonna put a trade in. Now my account had moved from
Yeah.
1,000 to I think
Yeah.
1,500, $1,700 if my memory serves me correctly. And I entered the trade at say quarter
Uh-huh.
after 8. Market was moving nicely in my direction. And I said,
Yeah.
all right, in another few minutes, I'm
Yeah.
out and I'm heading to work. Non-farm payroll came out at 8:30 and the
Yeah.
market started moving against me. Just like
Yeah.
yourself, had no stop loss. And I was basing my trade on hope. I hope it turns. I
Uh-huh.
hope it turns. So my $1,700 went down to
Yeah.
15, went down to 13, went down to 12 because the market was so
Mhm.
volatile that morning. It was unbelievable. I saw the candles
Yeah.
moving as if
This
it
is
was a
what
train
happened
moving
to
down the
me. Yeah.
tracks. And I just see my money going down,
Yeah.
down, 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 and I keep hoping and hoping and hoping. I say, come on, it's gotta turn, it's gotta turn, it's gotta turn. Got margin call that afternoon, that morning.
Yeah.
And the minute I got margin call,
Oh
the
my
minute the
God.
market turned and went in the opposite
Yeah.
direction. So this has
Oh.
been pretty much the story of every single trader I have encountered with over my 10 years.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
go through the
Mhm.
very same thing. And we trade on hope.
Yeah.
And once you start trading on hope, that's
Yeah.
where that's where the danger lies.
Yeah.
Because we don't know which direction the
I
market's going
see.
to be heading or anything like that. So we jump into the
Yeah.
market pretty much saying
Yeah.
it goes up, it goes down. You
Yeah.
know, what goes up must goes down, must come down.
Yeah.
So we don't know anything about stop
Yeah.
loss. We don't know anything about margin calls, or margin, or
Yeah.
leverage, or lot size.
Yeah.
We just pretty much jump in blindly
Yeah.
and trade the market.
Mhm.
Again, once I got that margin call, I said, okay,
Yeah.
I know what to do next time. So again, I jumped into the market with another thousand or
Hmm.
$2,000 and traded. And long story short,
Yeah.
it took me say 3 years, 2 years, 3 years on and off, and many thousands of dollars to actually say, you
Hmm.
know what? I'm gonna get this
Yeah.
market and I'm gonna win it. I'm gonna be victorious over this market. And I started taking it seriously because I
Yeah.
see the potential in it. So I
Hmm.
started reading books, going to
Yeah.
seminars, watching webinars, watching YouTube videos. And at
Uh-huh.
that time, YouTube videos, they were there, but there wasn't as
Hmm.
much as now. So the information was somewhat
Hmm.
limited on the internet for some period of time. You know, I've traveled to FXCM seminars
Yeah.
and all that, but I kept losing. And I don't know why, because I have the strategy. So I kept asking myself, why am I losing? I'm doing everything by the book, so why am I losing?
Yeah.
I use Fibonacci ratios.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're aware of those things, Fibonacci
Yeah.
ratio.
But I
All
can
right.
interpret
Well,
them.
I've
It's
heard
just
about
too complex
Fibonacci
for me.
ratios. I've used Bollinger Bands. I've used RSI. I've used stochastics. I've used MACDs. I've used every single
Yeah. Yes.
known, well, every major indicator known to man.
Uh-huh.
I have used it.
Yeah.
I have applied it.
Yeah.
I have used the
Yeah.
daily chart. I've used the 4 hour chart. I've used the 5 minute chart. I've used the 1 minute chart. Nothing seemed to work. And
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh. That's the thing.
eventually
Yeah.
I met this trader through a seminar. He worked for the company that was
Yeah.
doing the seminar, and
Hmm.
we became good friends. And he
Yeah.
started teaching me how to trade like the banks or like the pros. And
Hmm.
he gave me some inside information as how the
Hmm.
banks trade. and how seminars are operating and
Yeah.
everything like that. And I got few strategies, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying they were pretty much consistent. They weren't, but I realized they could actually work. But
Yeah.
again, I kept saying, why am I not being consistent? So time went by,
Mm-hmm.
and I met this other trader who started teaching more on the psychology of trading
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
naked charts. Naked charts is
Yeah.
actually trading without indicators or with very few indicators. So we trade off price action
Okay.
because what a lot of traders don't realize is
Mm-hmm.
that these indicators, such as the moving average, the RSI, the stochastic, those are all lagging
Yeah.
indicators. Those are
Mm-hmm.
indicators that tell you what the market
Oh.
did or what happened weeks or months ago, depending on the parameters that
Mm-hmm.
were set in the system. So
Uh-huh.
those indicators weren't telling me what's happening now. So I stopped using the RSI, I stopped using
Yeah.
all the stochastic indicators, and I just had naked charts. As you
Yeah.
can see, my charts are pretty much naked. And I started learning
Yes.
the psychology of trading. Because what happened is just like
Okay.
you went into the trades and the trade started going against you. You get emotional and you start
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah.
Neither you nor I don't know where the market's going
Yeah.
to head. So we have to find a strategy that works, but at the same
Yeah.
time, we now have to build our mind
Mm-hmm.
psychologically to adapt to these losses, for one, adapt to the
Mm-hmm.
wins, for two. So
Yeah.
we have to now train our mind to say, okay, we're
Yeah.
not getting greedy and we're not being fearful when we enter the market.
Yeah.
Because there are few things that actually
Uh-huh.
kills a trader when it comes to trading, and the
Yeah.
psychology of trading takes up at least it's 65
Yeah.
55% of a person's success in trading.
Okay. Psychology
55%.
of trading,
the, yes,
65%.
the
Wow.
state of mind takes up
55.
55%
Mm-hmm.
of a successful trader.
Yeah.
Strategy, you would not believe, but the
Okay.
strategy itself is only 15% of what makes a trader successful. Money management is
I see.
30%, which we're going to go more in detail on our next session. But for right now, I
Okay.
can tell you that most traders have the dream of one day quitting their
Mm-hmm.
job and making a full-time living just by trading the foreign exchange market. And
Yeah.
what I've always heard,
Yeah.
and maybe you've heard it, maybe not, it's not almost never the strategy,
Yeah.
but always you. So a lot of persons will blame the strategy,
Uh-huh.
but it's not the strategy. It's you.
Yeah.
It's the strategy is the
Mm-hmm.
least. The trader is the weakest link
Yeah.
in a strategy. Always remember that. The trader is the weakest
Okay.
link in
Yeah.
a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You and a
Yeah.
friend could be using the
Mm-hmm.
exact same Forex trading strategy.
Yeah.
One will make money, the other one will find a way of
Yeah.
losing money with the very same
Yeah.
strategy. Because what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying is trading is
Yeah.
not complicated, but it's very difficult because of the psychology
Yeah.
behind it. And unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
most persons will underestimate it because every trader that I've seen
Mm-hmm.
or every person that I've taught, the first thing they want to know is how do I trade? What's my strategy? What's my strategy? It's just
Yeah.
like me, you have a son,
Mm-hmm.
he
Yeah.
reaches 18, he gets a car. You're not
Yeah.
going to just hand him the key.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to teach him how to drive. You're going to
No.
not going into depth in teaching him the
Yes.
mechanics of the vehicle, but you're going to teach him the basic concepts of
Yeah.
driving, the rules of the road, the laws of the road, before you actually
Yeah.
say, okay, here, you're on your own.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with strategy.
Yeah.
I can teach my strategy in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The psychology is what takes up the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then building your mindset around that also takes up the time. So
Mm-hmm.
mastering your emotions, conquering those demons is so difficult that most people will
Mm-hmm.
definitely fail.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, as they all say, 95% of traders fail. Now, how accurate that is, I really don't know.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that most people lose money, blow their accounts, and eventually give up. And then what they'll do, they'll warn
Yeah.
others and say, listen, stay away from the market. A friend of mine just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this week, I think this week, because we're actually doing a seminar in
Yeah.
December. So a friend of mine, someone I actually taught,
Yeah.
he went to one of his coworkers and said, listen, we're keeping a
Yeah.
seminar in December um, on the Forex market, how to trade the Forex, how
Yeah.
to build wealth, you know, use it as a supplementary income, or you can do it full time once you become profitable. The guy was intrigued. Another guy overheard
Yeah.
overheard their conversation and interjected and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
stay away from this market. The
Yeah.
market is it's scam. It's a pyramid scheme. You will lose your money." So the guy said, my friend said, "Listen, how is it a pyramid scheme?" His perception of the market is that
Yeah.
I really don't even understand it, but you give your money to somebody else, then that somebody has to sell something. They have a totally different perspective of the Forex market. And my friend said, listen, obviously
Mm-hmm.
you are unaware of what the market is. So come to the seminar and get
Yeah.
education and get educated because a lot of persons are ignorant to the
Yeah.
Forex. They say the Forex is risky.
Mm-hmm.
But so is stocks, so are
Yeah.
bonds, so is the equity market, so is the commodity market, so is walking on the road.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
risky. It's
Yeah.
just in us to say, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to minimize that risk in whichever way we can in order to be
Mm-hmm.
successful or to stay alive or to survive. Everything is risky. The forest market is no
Okay.
more riskier than
Yeah.
the bonds, which they say is the safest thing. You know,
Yeah.
the economy can go to the
Yeah.
can go into
Yeah.
turmoil. What happens to your funds?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
insured, but not fully insured.
Yeah.
If you put in 100,000 in a bank, yes,
Yeah.
it's insured, but you're only getting a fraction of that if
Yeah.
anything should happen. Right. So
Yeah.
how
That's
can
correct.
anyone say the forex market is
Yeah.
risky when everything else has that same
Yeah.
or that same risk? So, and I said,
Mm-hmm.
most person will come and break. They will fail to master their emotions, master their
Yeah.
fears, and they just say, you know what? I'm giving up. The good thing with you is that you've been doing this for 5 years, and even
Yeah.
through the losses,
Yeah.
you're still in it and you're still
Yeah.
passionate about it. Because one thing that makes up
Okay.
a successful trader
Yeah.
is the passion for the market, the desire
Yeah.
for the market, the love of the market, not the money.
Yeah.
If it was for the money for
Yeah.
myself, I would
Yeah.
have been out of it a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
If a person does
Yeah.
not have the
Yeah.
desire and there are few emotions that you want need to acquire in order to really be successful in the market because the market will tear you up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beast. You notice it's a
Yeah.
beast. You're down fifty
Oh yeah.
thousand dollars and you're still standing in there because you know the potential of it. It's
Yeah.
just unfortunate that you didn't get the
Yes.
training within in that earlier years to say, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm going to learn about stop loss. I'm going to learn about margin. I'm going to learn about leverage. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to learn about calculating my lot size. And these are the things that you need to learn
Mm-hmm.
in order to be successful, not just the strategy itself.
Yeah.
So, the first thing we're going to say,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much talk
Mm-hmm.
about, is your desire for the market. I mean, back
Yeah.
when I just started, I used to be up until 5, 6 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
trading, trading the London session,
Mm.
trading the New York
Yeah.
session, trading the Asian session.
Yeah.
I have spent,
Oh wow.
I can't even say exactly how many screen hours I've put into this market. learning it, watching the candles form,
Yeah.
watching the formations, watching
Mm-hmm.
patterns form, and all that. It takes years. But why I
Yeah.
decided to do this in terms of
Mm-hmm.
trading is cut down your learning curve, your
Yeah.
learning process. It took me a few years to do this.
Okay.
I can train you in a few weeks, in a few months,
Mm-hmm.
but the overall success still lies on you.
Yeah.
You know, are you going to follow the
Yeah.
strategy? Or even if you don't follow my
Yeah.
strategy, but are you going to follow the basic rules and concept
Mm-hmm.
of the market, which is money management?
Yeah.
Are you going to let fear and greed
Yeah.
get in your way?
No, that I'm not. That greed is out. It's not. It's not. But my other thing is this: the fear of the fear, which is my other. That's why I
And the thing,
hedge. But
okay,
anytime I
one of the
hedge, it
thing
goes
with
the other
hedging
way. That's.
is there is a there is a strategy to
Mm-hmm.
hedging because you realize when you hedge, the market is
Uh-huh.
neither good. Your account is pretty much
Yeah.
balanced. It's not going anywhere. So, and you're
Yeah.
hedging with
Yeah.
FXCM, but oh, you're using an overseas brokerage, overseas FXCM. Okay, because here in the US, they don't
Yes.
hedge. It's
Yeah.
prohibited.
Yeah. I used to be in the
Oh, you're in
US, but
Canada.
then later
Okay.
they transfer
Uh,
everything to Canada. So
Okay, I'm using the one in UK.
yes, I'm in Canada. Yeah.
So, when you hedge,
Uh-huh.
it's a good strategy to an extent,
Yeah.
but
Uh,
it's not going anywhere.
yeah.
And then when the market start
Yeah.
moving in, let's say the bullish or in the buy position, and then you end up closing the sell position,
Yes.
the market turns.
Yes.
The market turns.
Exactly.
So it's just as
Yes.
much as you didn't hedge in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's true.
you're
That is
hoping that,
very
okay, the
true. Yeah.
market moved up 50 pips. So it should continue upwards. So I'm closing the sell
Mm-hmm.
trade. Now, let's say your balance was, say,
Yeah.
$10 at the time while the hedge was on. When that market moved 50 pips,
Yeah.
you're in the red 45 pips.
Mm-hmm.
So when you close, you're still at 5 pips.
Yes.
Then the market turns
Yeah.
and you're again in the red. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
strategies out there, and even though I will teach my particular strategy,
Mm-hmm.
my strategy may not work for you because of your work
Yeah.
schedule. So what I tend to do
Yeah.
in terms of my coaching
Yeah.
is if you have a strategy, well, not in your case
Mm-hmm.
because you really don't have a strategy, but but persons who are in the
No.
market has a
Yeah.
strategy but are still unable to be
Yeah.
successful. What I will do with them is
Mm-hmm.
coach them on the psychology of trading. That's
Yeah.
for one. And two, help them modify
Okay.
their strategy because sometimes their strategy is pretty good,
Mm.
but it's the mindset behind it. And
Yeah.
again, they really don't have that confidence in themselves to say, okay, I'm entering the trade to go long,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm going to enter the trade to buy. And the
Yeah.
minute the stock goes in the red, they get
Yeah.
fearful, they close the trade. Then when it goes in positive, again, they become fearful because they don't want to lose that profit. So they close a trade and only to see
Yeah.
the market shoot maybe another 50, 60, 100 pips in their direction.
Actually, that's exactly what
Exactly.
happens to me more
So
most of the
these
time.
are the, and it
Yeah.
comes to, you're kind of now seeing where the emotion and the psychology of trading affects a person's success.
Yeah.
Because just like you said, you will
Mm-hmm.
close a trade because you're fearful of getting of it going back in the red, only to see the market move in the direction
Yeah.
50, 100 pips. Then what's going
Yeah.
to happen there is you're
Yes.
going to jump in the market because
Exactly.
you say, you know what, I'm going to see if I can get another 10 or 15 pips out of it. And you jump,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then
And
immediately
so
goes to the opposite way.
traders have this perception or this illusion, which is not really illusion, it is a truth, that there is somebody on the other side of the market or on the other side of the computer watching your trade. So the minute you buy, the market turns. The minute you close that trade, the market reverses again.
Yeah.
So it's a never ending cycle. No matter which direction you go, the market always tends to stop
Yeah.
and reverse it in the next direction.
Yeah.
And I have not come
Mhm.
across a trader that it has not happened to. I spoke to a room of over 30 traders a few weeks ago, and every single one I asked that question,
Yeah.
how many persons has this ever happened to? You enter, they see the market moving, rallying, you jump in the market. The minute you
Yeah.
jump in that market, the market turns. Everybody hand raised. And the minute you decide, you know what, I'm jumping
Hmm.
out, the market turns and it's back in that direction of
Yeah.
your individual trade. So, in order for
Exactly.
somebody to actually be
Yeah.
successful, that desire has to be there. So, you
Hmm.
have to keep asking yourself, how badly do I
Hmm.
want this? Just how bad do you want to become successful
Hmm.
in the forex market? Because I will tell you this much: if you don't want it
Yeah.
this badly, and I mean really badly, you will fail. Because
Yeah.
even if you follow all the
Hmm.
rules that I'm going to teach you, even if you do everything in a sensible way,
Yeah.
even if you try to avoid making every single mistake beginners could make, you will still face obstacles.
Hmm.
That much is
Yeah.
guaranteed. You will face
Yeah.
drawdowns. You'll be scared to
Yeah.
pull the trigger. You will go on losing
Hmm.
run.
Yeah.
You will have 4 or 5
Hmm.
consecutive losing trades. And this is where a lot of traders, one, give up,
Yeah.
or two, try to find another strategy.
Hmm.
And I call that
Yeah.
the cycle of doom. Because what happened is that just like you and myself, you're introduced to the forex market
Yeah.
either by a friend or by way of infomercial or something. You
Yeah.
realize it's easy, not say easy, but you realize the
Yeah.
potential of the market. So you go out and you try to find a
Yeah.
strategy. That's the first thing everybody does. They try to find that strategy.
Yeah.
So they find a strategy, they come
Hmm.
back, they demo trade. It works. It always works on the demo account because there's no emotion there, so it always works.
Yeah.
So it works on the demo account,
Yeah.
then they go live. When they go live, it works for a period of time,
Hmm.
maybe. Once they end up in that losing streak,
Yeah.
once they have that 3, 4 losing,
Hmm.
consecutive losing streak, they say, you know what? This strategy is not
Yeah.
working. So I'm moving to the next stage. So they go on the internet, they Google, they go to another
Hmm.
seminar, they hear about another strategy. They try this next strategy, and there the cycle repeats
Yeah.
itself because they're moving from strategy to strategy. And even though a
Hmm.
person will say, listen, it's an 85% win or a 70% win, because they're under
Hmm.
this losing streak and they're not,
Yeah.
their mindset is not to lose. Their mindset is to win, is to build their account,
Yeah.
to double your account in a month or two and live that financial free lifestyle.
Hmm.
Yes, so when
Yeah.
reality hits, they move to another strategy and the cycle starts all
Yeah.
over again and they will go through one, two,
Yeah.
5, 10, 100 different strategies until the day finally comes and they say, you know what, I'm out. This is not working for me. But only the chosen few
Yeah.
who goes through that cycle for some period of
Hmm.
time does make it to the other side,
Yeah.
which because of your
Hmm.
persistence, you will make it to that other side.
Yeah.
Because now you decide, okay, I want to learn it. I want to learn everything about it. I want to learn what moves the
Yeah.
market. I want to control my emotion. I want to control my fear. So I'm going to do this.
Hmm.
I'm going to learn money management. So there are going to be times when, even after
Hmm.
we start this, There are going to be times when you think you can't do it right.
Yeah.
There are going to be times when you think the market is out to get you
Yeah.
personally, as I mentioned earlier. The universe is against you. God is against you.
Yeah.
Whatever you believe in, luck, karma, God, fate,
Mm-hmm.
or even if you don't believe in anything, no matter what, those things,
Yeah.
sorry, no matter what, you're going to face these obstacles every single time. You'll feel like everything is against you. You'll
Mm-hmm.
feel like every single
Mm-hmm.
trade you make is
Yeah.
a bad one. You're going to doubt your strategy. You're going to doubt
Yeah.
your trading plan. You'll have
Mm-hmm.
doubts that you'll ever succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the demons and the obstacles you will face. And this is what we are going to have to
Mm-hmm.
control. So, to conquer these demons, these
Okay.
obstacles, these hard times, and push through that burning desire to succeed in this business. Otherwise, you really don't stand a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why
Mm-hmm.
having that desire is so
Yeah.
important in trading. Just wanting
Mm-hmm.
it, just
Yeah.
wanting it for the sake of wanting it is not enough. You'll have to want it so badly
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that you feel the desire burning inside of you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You'll have to want it so badly that even your eyes become weary at nights. This is your goal, and you are totally
Mm-hmm.
focused and willing to pay the price, whatever that price is. So, I've been through it,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, you're going to go through it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, the next thing we're going to be looking
Okay.
at now is your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say you must have confidence, I'm talking about confidence in your trading plan. So, we're going to build a trading plan.
Mm-hmm.
Confident in your strategy.
Okay.
We're going to build a strategy. Confidence in your execution of trades. And finally, confidence that you will
Mm-hmm.
ultimately succeed in this business and become a winner. Because this business, it's a
Amen.
business.
Yes.
It is a business. And
Yeah.
what
It
I've
is.
noticed when I'm talking to a
Yeah.
lot of newbies is they don't treat it as a business
Yes.
because it's virtual, because it's not
Mm-hmm.
something tangible. They don't look at it as a business, and so
Yeah.
they will enter into a market, erratic trades, just trying to win the market and not realizing, okay,
Yeah.
one, this is a business. Every business has expenses. My losses should be noted as my
Yeah.
expenses. And just like a typical physical
Mm-hmm.
business, we have to ensure that our revenue exceeds our expenses. So we will try to keep our
Yeah.
expenses down, and by keeping our expenses down, the
Yeah.
revenue will follow. And again, we'll talk about this more in depth in our next session. But most traders,
Okay.
they will think of how much they can make. Professional traders focus on
Mm-hmm.
how much they're going to lose. So we're
Yeah.
not concerned about, okay, we're going to make $1,000 or $5,000 on this trade. We're concerned about, okay, where are we going to put our stop
Mm-hmm.
loss to minimize our risk? How are we going to
Mm-hmm.
place those stop loss and still give
Yeah.
the market room to breathe? Right. So
Mm-hmm.
these are the
Mm-hmm.
things again which
Yeah.
we'll have to go into with a stop loss and calculating your risk, your loss size. But first of all, we have to deal with the desire, the confidence, the fear, the greed, the frustration. So the
Mm-hmm.
last part of
Yeah.
you becoming a winner, that's not going to be easy. In fact, it will be very difficult. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say this is
Yeah.
going to
That's
be
great. That's good. Yeah.
easy because nothing in life comes easy or nothing
Yeah.
good in life comes easy.
No.
But
Yeah.
you're going to give yourself the best chance to obtain it. First though, the confidence in your trading
Okay.
plan. So, a trading plan is basically a
Mhm.
set of rules. That's pretty much what it's all about. These
Yeah.
rules may change over time because the market changes, and we have to learn to adapt to those market conditions.
Mhm.
So, these, hang on a sec, come, hang on a second. Hello? No, not you. Oh, no, I thought somebody was
Hello.
there. Right. Yeah, these rules will change over time, and I do guarantee it. I mean, it took me years to figure out what kind of trader I really
Okay.
was, or I really am. And only then did I have
Mhm.
actually have a trading
Yeah.
plan, and I was confident in it. Because if you're not
Mhm.
confident in your trading
Yeah.
plan, you're gonna be caught in that cycle of doom loop.
Yeah.
And it happened to me,
Mhm.
and I'm sure it can happen to you. It may take you a year, it may take you much
Yeah.
longer to finally figure it out. But
Mhm.
what will surely happen
Mhm.
is you're not gonna blow your account anymore. Because I've always said this, if you
Okay.
trade for 6 months to a year and you do not make a penny, you are
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
70% better than the person out there. Because a lot more will blow their account in 6 months.
Mhm.
So if you're trading
Oh, I
and
see.
you do not make a dime and you start with say 6 grand, 6,000, and you're at say 5,800,
Yeah.
and there's that fluctuation between 7,000,
Yeah.
5,000, 6,000, and at the end of the year you're still at break even.
Mhm.
Believe you me, you're ahead of the game.
Mhm.
So don't be discouraged if
Okay.
2 months or 3 months you don't see substantial gain.
Mhm.
But what will happen is that you're not going
Yeah.
to see substantial losses. So
Okay.
for now, you must start with the trading plan and decide to follow these things.
Yeah.
One of these things are which currency pair you're willing to trade.
That's the other thing. So I trade so many currencies. That's the I trade mostly Euro and
Right.
USD, and then I trade the Japanese yen with USD. Then I trade
Mm-hmm.
British pound with Euro, and I trade silver with USD.
Right.
I think these are
Gold.
the yeah. And then I have uh, gold. I traded gold some few short, just very small
Okay.
units, but
Well,
I stopped trading gold completely.
this is where we have to narrow down
Yeah.
because persons will say, okay,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trading every currency possible. Now, there are a few things we need to look at. And if we're taking this as a business,
Yeah.
we can't give the brokerage firm more money than they're getting. So, by trading a few of these crosses,
Uh-huh.
you're actually giving them money because some of these cross
Yeah.
pairs they carry a wider spread.
Yes.
Right. So,
Yes. Yeah.
the
Exactly.
currencies
Yes.
I
Uh-huh.
really
Yeah.
trade
Yeah.
are the majors, which is the
Mm-hmm.
pound dollar, the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the euro dollar,
Pound dollar.
the Swiss franc,
Okay.
the
Euro
US
dollar.
JPY,
Swiss franc. Yeah.
the Aussie dollar,
Okay.
the New Zealand dollar.
Aussie dollar. Yes.
Sometimes I will trade the Canadian dollar,
Okay.
the Euro JPY,
Canadian dollar.
Euro JPY,
Euro. Okay. Euro. Okay.
and
JPY.
occasionally
Okay.
I will
Mm-hmm.
trade the GBP JPY, JB, GBP JPY.
GBP.
Right. But the
Oh,
first
good. British pound.
six,
Okay. Yeah.
which includes the US currency, the US dollar,
Mm-hmm.
those are the pairs I really focus on.
Yeah.
I have, at any time, I will have 8 pairs, 8 to 9 pairs on my chart, on my computer screen. But I will actually focus on
Okay.
those six majors with the US dollar involved in it. And Leading into the more sessions, I will show you in terms of correlations and how each one of these peers are actually correlated and can work with
Mm-hmm.
or work against each other. So within our
Uh-huh.
trading plan, we're going to find out, okay, which pairs you're going to be trading. Because each currency pair has its own
Yeah.
characteristics. I will trade a pound dollar. I will trade a
Mm-hmm.
Japanese yen. Just like that. I know those two currencies. I know their movements. I know everything about them. The others I do know, but the pound and the yen,
Okay.
those two pairs, I know their characteristics. The pound yen, which the
Okay.
pound yen, that's the GBP JPY, that is a
Okay.
currency pair I still have not mastered.
Yeah.
Well, I'd not say I haven't mastered it,
Mm-hmm.
but that currency is
Mm-hmm.
a very tricky currency because it is one of the more volatile pairs of all the pairs that I've just mentioned. That has a trading range, a daily trading
Okay.
range of over 300 pips. That yes,
Oh, wow.
that can
I
move
see.
300
Daily.
pips in a day.
Wow.
Recently, it
Oh,
hasn't been
wow.
like that because for the last year or so, the volatility in the market has pretty much declined.
Yeah.
The trading volume has increased
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
we're now at about $5.4 trillion dollars per day. But the volatility in the market
Mm-hmm.
is not as it used to be as in previous years.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing we're
Yeah.
going to look at within our
Okay.
trading plan is the time frame you're willing to trade. So
Yeah.
you
Uh-huh.
assume you work during the days, right? So micromanaging your
Yeah.
trades is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to micromanage your trades. So we pretty much have to
Mm-hmm.
choose which time frame to suit your current lifestyle in terms of work.
Yeah. My sad part is that I work sometimes in the day, sometimes I work
Okay,
at night. So one week, yeah, I'll have like this week coming this
right.
weekend. This week I have Monday, Tuesday days, Wednesday, Thursday off, and
Okay,
then Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. The month following Monday will be Monday, Tuesday off, and then Wednesday,
okay.
Thursday
Uh,
I'll have nights. Then it
all
changes
right.
again.
So
So it's
time frame is very important,
yeah.
and the time frame I suggest is anything above the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour, 4 hour daily chart, 4 hour
Okay. 1 hour,
and the daily chart.
4 hour
Because what happens is that
daily
on the
charts. Okay.
lower time frames, they have too much noise. The resistance and support on those
Uh-huh.
time frames, say the
Yeah.
30 minute, the 15 minute, the 5 minute, the 1 minute, those support and resistance aren't valid. They
Yeah.
aren't as valid. They are not as strong or as
Yeah.
effective of the say the
Mm.
1 hour time frame.
Yeah.
And the higher the time frame, the more
Mm-hmm.
effective, the much stronger those resistance and
Yeah.
support points are. And then we're going to look about the
Okay.
hours in which you're going to trade. Now, the Asian session is one of the most um, in the Asian session, there's hardly any movement in the market. That's right, right.
There's
Those are the
hardly
quiet
any
hours. Those are
okay,
the quiet
Asian market.
hours.
Okay. Yeah.
You will find two currency
Okay.
pairs that actually move during the Asian session, occasionally based on news, and that is the Aussie
Mm-hmm.
dollar and the New Zealand dollar.
Yeah.
Right. Those will
Aussie and
move
New
based
Zealand.
on
Okay.
news
Okay.
anywhere between
Based on
7
news.
p.m. to say
Okay.
11 p.m.
7 to
Right.
9, 11 p.m. Our time here.
So
Okay.
those
All
are the
right.
quiet
Mm-hmm.
periods. And what happened in the quiet periods is the market,
Okay.
there's no volatility in the market to push the
Mm-hmm.
market in any one direction. So you get a lot of consolidation within a
Okay.
mostly within a tight range. So
Mm-hmm.
even though you can find
Mm-hmm.
trading opportunities at any time during the 24 hours, but primarily
Yeah.
we focus on the more volatile hours, which is 3 a.m., which is the London market.
Okay.
That's
3
right.
a.m. Okay. Yeah. That's the
Up
European. Okay.
until
Europe.
12 p.m., 12 noon.
Okay.
Right. Because
Okay.
what
12.
happens is that European market
Mm-hmm.
and the US market are the two largest market that trades the currency. So you'll have the
Yeah.
European market that opens
Mm-hmm.
and volatility is strong.
Yeah.
Then at 8, 9 o'clock, you will have
Mm-hmm.
that overlapping with the US market. So now you have the two
Mm-hmm.
dominant markets
Yeah.
overlapping each other and trading. So you'll find a lot of
Yeah.
movements anywhere between 3 to say 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. You
Mm-hmm.
might find movement, right?
Okay.
11, 12 o'clock, you will find
3 to
movements in
4
the
to
market,
11 o'clock.
right?
Oh, okay. 11 to 12.
If
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
find a trade,
Movement. Okay.
say between the time I start trading, which is
Mm-hmm.
8:30 to midday,
Yeah.
I will rarely trade again.
Yeah.
Unless I see a specific
Oh, I
setup in
see.
the market, then I may, but primarily I will
Mm-hmm.
only trade within those hours. So then
Okay.
we have to look on, are you going to be a short-term trader, medium or long-term trader,
Okay. Let me write that down.
or
Short
a
term,
long-term trader?
medium, or long term.
Do you intend to hold on to these trades
Okay.
for weeks, months, days?
Yeah, my there's nothing because if I lose, if I'm on a losing and I'll still try to keep it so it breaks whatever, then I take my money out. So
That's
I
a
keep it
long-term
for
trade, but
very.
you're
That's I'm a
long-term
long-term
trading
trader. Yeah,
without a stop loss,
yes,
right? And
yeah. I
which
do without stop
means
loss. Yeah,
every now and then you have to be funding your account just to prevent that margin call.
exactly. That is exactly
All right,
that's
so
my
we're gonna
other
abandon
thing.
that.
So
And
okay,
next, we're going
yeah,
to say, okay, how much are
abandon
you
that.
willing to risk per trade? Anything over 2%
Uh-huh.
is a bad idea for a trader who is not yet consistently successful.
Okay, so anything. Let me put
It's
this
a
one
bad
down.
idea
Anything
for a
above two
trader who is
percent.
not yet successful, who is not yet consistently successful in
Okay,
trading.
uh, okay, okay, bad idea. Okay, all right. Okay, that's good. Anything about so just that means you put
So,
a stop loss around
so
two
let's say your
percent
account is a thousand
below.
dollars. You're only going to risk 2% of that
Yeah,
$1,000. So it's $200.
two
So
percent is good.
you're not,
200.
if the market goes against you, you're going to be out $200, nothing
Uh-huh.
more. So that's setting
Okay.
your stop loss. So you know, okay, I am willing to risk 2% on any given trade once I'm in the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Traders
Mm-hmm.
will go anywhere between
Okay.
1 to 5%. But as I said, going above 2%, you have to be somewhat consistently successful or consistently making a
Mm-hmm.
profit. You have
Okay.
traders who will go from zero point 0.5. They won't risk
Okay.
more than zero point 0.5 of the trade.
Uh-huh.
I mean, sorry, 0.5% of
Yeah.
their account. So I will cap it at say nothing above 2% in trading, in learning to trade.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we're going to look at what your
Okay.
risk reward is going to be, which means we are willing to risk 2%, so we are willing to risk $200. But my reward is going to be
Yeah.
$400.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be
Okay. So that's
4%,
about four
which we will
percent.
get into on later down in the
Okay.
session in terms of calculating your
Mm-hmm.
in money management. So your
Okay.
risk reward target is going to be a part of your trading plan. So this means you're trading
Okay.
If not a 1-to-1, you're going to trade 1-to-2 or 1-to-3, which you're risking $200 to make $400. That's a 1-to-2 risk
Mm-hmm.
reward ratio.
Okay.
1-to-3 ratio
Okay.
is you're risking $200 to make $600. So what
Oh,
that
okay.
does is for every you lose a trade or you lose two trades, you only need one trade to bring it back to break even.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be
Uh-huh,
a
uh-huh.
70%, you don't have to have a 70% win strategy in being successful. And
Mm-hmm.
I will show you further down how you can be a 40 to 50% win and still make money in the market just by using proper money management. So you can, out of 10 trades, you can
Okay.
lose 5 trades and you will still come out profitable.
Yeah.
I say this to a lot of people and
Oh,
they're
okay.
marveled. I say, listen, you can be a 30% win. You can have a 30% win strategy and you'll still make money.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, how's that
Yeah.
possible? I said, well,
Okay.
join my program and I'll show you it's possible.
Yeah.
So we'll also talk about
Yeah.
when will you move stop loss to break even. So, right. So you're
Okay.
not too
Thank you.
familiar yet with
Yeah.
stop loss, but
Oh,
what we do is when we're in a
yeah.
winning trade and let's say the market goes up 50
Yeah.
pips, we will move our stop loss to
Yeah.
break even. So that trade becomes risk free.
Oh,
So even if the trade moves against
okay.
us, okay, we don't make anything, but then we don't
Uh-huh.
lose anything because the trade is now risk free.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Then
That's a good strategy
we're
too. Yeah.
gonna talk about
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
how much money you will have in your trading account. A lot of persons will believe they need
Okay.
10,000, 15,000, 20,000 to be successful in trading. No. You can start with $500 and gradually grow it.
Yeah. Okay.
You can start with $300 and gradually grow it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for me personally,
Okay. Yeah.
I rather start with a small figure and take my time and grow it
Mm-hmm.
than have a 10,000 or a
Yeah.
15,000 and I
Yeah.
see it dwindling away.
Mm-hmm.
And finally,
Okay. All right.
or before that, we're going to say, okay, what is our long-term goal? How much money do we want to make per year 5 years from now? Yeah, not that
Mm-hmm.
didn't say now.
Okay.
How much money we want to make, say 5 years from now. So we're setting a long-term goal.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Long-term goal. Yeah.
finally, what strategy or strategies you will use in trading.
Okay. That's strategy. Yeah. Forward. Okay.
So these are
Okay.
actually some of the questions we'll have to go through
Yeah.
in developing your trading plan.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, the
Okay.
answers to some of these questions will change over time. It's certain. Such as
Mm-hmm.
you may be able to say,
Yeah.
okay, instead of
Yeah.
risking 2%, I'm risking 3%. So every winning trade, I'm now looking for 6% in trade.
Uh-huh.
6% win. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all of these is pretty much a guideline in saying, okay, these are the rules I'm going to follow,
Yeah.
and I'm sticking to them by
Yeah.
any means necessary. Because,
Mm-hmm.
as they always say, if
Okay.
you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And I was never a
Yeah.
strong believer of planning because I've always said, man plans, God
Mm-hmm.
wipes out. So, until I really got into
That's it.
trading and trading it as a business, that's really when I started looking at
Yeah.
things in life in general differently because
Mm-hmm.
trading is a part of life.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
what you actually apply to trading in terms of your psychology, your state of mind, pretty much helps you in everything else. You're
Yeah.
disciplined, you're more patient, you're
Mm.
determined, you're committed,
Yeah.
and all of that
Hmm.
can be applied pretty much
Yeah.
to your everyday lifestyle. So today was pretty much a lot
Hmm.
of talking.
Yeah. That's actually it's quite enlightening. Actually, I've got a lot of I've, no, I've learned a lot, just a little bit, but it's quite a lot because all these risk factors, which like the risk reward, I never thought of it, but it's
Right.
quite practical. Yeah, if you can do it that way.